Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're exploring the world of school.
Yes, and we're doing it through a really interesting source, a script from an English language learning podcast. It's focused specifically on school vocabulary and phrases.
Right, and our mission here is to sort of unpack that. We want to pull out the key ideas and, the practical language tools for talking about school.
Exactly. Useful stuff whether you're a student now, maybe a teacher, or even just thinking back on your own school days.
Okay, so let's kick things off with some foundational vocabulary that the script highlights. First up, classroom.
hmm And the example sentence given is, I left my notebook in the classroom. Simple enough on the surface.
Yeah, but what is it about the classroom? It's more than just four walls, right? What makes it so central?
Well, it's this idea of a dedicated space, isn't it? A specific environment designed purely for learning, for that interaction between teacher and student.
So a focus zone for instruction.
Precisely. And even with online learning and all sorts of changes, that concept of a dedicated learning space, it persists. It's quite fundamental.
Okay, next term, homework. The example is, I have a lot of homework to do tonight. Homework. We've all been there.
We certainly have. So why assign work outside the classroom? What's the thinking behind it?
Good question.
Fundamentally, it's about bridging that gap
Yeah.
between the structured lesson and, well, independent practice.
Reinforcing the ideas.
Yeah, reinforcing concepts, maybe encouraging students to engage a bit more deeply with the material on their own time.
Though I guess how much homework is right is always up for debate.
Oh, definitely. An ongoing discussion for sure.
And the third basic term is curriculum. Example. The curriculum includes math, science, and history. This is the what of school, isn't it?
It is. It's the framework. And it tells you a lot about what a society thinks is important, what knowledge and skills are prioritized for the next generation.
So it's like a blueprint for learning.
Kind of, yeah. A blueprint reflecting values, goals. It's a deliberate choice of what gets taught.
Right. Okay. So with those basics, classroom, homework, curriculum, the script then shifts gear. It presents a dialogue.
Yes, a conversation between two friends talking about their school day.
Yeah.
And this is where we see the vocabulary in action.
Which is crucial, right? Knowing the word is one thing, seeing how it's actually used.
That's the key. Context is everything for understanding real-world usage.
So the chat starts very naturally. Hey, how was your day at school? Seems like such a standard opener.
It is, and it works because it's an open invitation, isn't it?
Yeah.
It shows interest, lets the other person lead.
Doesn't put them on the spot immediately.
Exactly. Relaxed tone.
So one friend replies, it was good. We had a math test this morning, but it wasn't too hard. Test is another school staple.
And notice how casually it's mentioned. Had a test. Wasn't too hard.
Yeah, it's just part of the routine.
Right. It shows how students sort of process these things, assess their own performance almost immediately, and share that with friends. It's a way of, dealing with the experience.
Then the conversation moves to projects. We worked on a group project about environmental issues.
Group projects. Another classic.
And the student adds, it was really interesting, but I think we need to do more research. So collaboration, but also recognizing gaps.
Spot on. And that's often the point, isn't it? Group projects aim to build teamwork, communication.
Problem solving together.
Yes, and applying knowledge, synthesizing information. That need for more research points to that process. It actually mirrors a lot of work situations later on.
True. Then they talk homework again. I'm still trying to finish my history homework. I have to write an essay about World War II. That feeling of the work piling up.
Very relatable for many students, I imagine. And this highlights a different type of schoolwork, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, an essay requires more in-depth individual effort. Critical thinking, structuring arguments, research. It's not just recall like a quick test.
Right. It's a deeper dive. And the friend gives advice. Oh, I know. I had that homework last week. Make sure to give yourself enough time to write it. Solid advice.
Classic advice. And it points to something crucial. Time management.
Why is that so important for students beyond just getting the essay done?
Because it's really a fundamental life skill, isn't it?
Yeah.
Learning to plan, prioritize, juggle different tasks.
Things you definitely need after school.
Absolutely. The value extends far beyond just hitting deadlines in the classroom.
Okay, so after analyzing that dialogue, the script lists some useful school phrases, kind of like conversational shortcuts.
Exactly. Practical templates for common school chat, covering quite a range of situations.
Let's look at a few. First, what's your favorite subject? Simple, but revealing.
Often, yeah. It can tap into someone's real interests, their passions, maybe even hint at their strengths or what they might want to do later.
Okay. Then, just a statement. I have a test next week. Why share that?
Well, it's about planning, isn't it? For the student, it signals prep time needed. For others, maybe friends or family, it signals give them space or offer support.
Manages expectations.
Crucial bit of info for scheduling.
Then the classic request, can I borrow your notes? Speaks to collaboration, maybe.
Definitely. It shows that supportive network students often build. Sharing notes helps fill gaps, gives another perspective.
Reinforces things through explaining or comparing.
Exactly. Peer interaction is powerful.
Next phrase, I need to study for the exam. What does that signal?
It shows responsibility, right?
Yeah,
A commitment to doing well. It says, I know this requires effort.
taking ownership.
Yeah, a proactive mindset.
How about I'm going to the library to do some research? The library's role.
Rick?
Still significant.
Oh, absolutely. It represents access to information beyond the immediate course materials. It encourages that independent digging, developing research skills.
Essential for lifelong learning, I suppose.
Couldn't agree more.
Then there's asking for clarification. Can I ask a question? Seems obvious, but why is it vital?
Because asking questions is active learning. It's how you clear up confusion, go deeper, really engage.
Not just passively receiving information.
Precisely. It's a sign of curiosity, of wanting to truly understand.
And the flip side, do you need help with your homework? Offering support.
This really highlights the social, communal aspect of school. Offering help actually reinforces your own understanding.
And receiving it builds confidence, stops people getting lost.
Exactly. It fosters that supportive environment.
What about acknowledging difficulties? I need to catch up on my lesson.
That self-awareness is so important. Recognizing you're behind is the first step to doing something about it.
Stops small gaps becoming huge problems.
Right. Allows for proactive steps.
And finally, the big one. I'm studying for my final exam. The culmination.
Often, yes. It represents that comprehensive summing up of everything learned over a whole period.
Requires bringing it all together.
A broader review, integrating all the pieces.
So the script wraps up by suggesting listening to the dialogue again is helpful. Why is repetition useful here?
Well, re-listening just helps cement things, doesn't it? You catch vocabulary, phrases in context again.
Pick up nuances maybe missed the first time.
Exactly. And it solidifies how those expressions sound and feel in natural speech.
Okay, so let's quickly recap this deep dive. We've looked at some core school words, classroom homework, curriculum.
Then we analyze a real-world chat about a school day, seeing how people actually talk about tests, projects, homework.
And we ran through a list of really practical phrases for all sorts of common school situations, from asking about subjects to needing help.
And the key takeaway, I think, is that this language isn't just about passing an English test. It gives us insight into the whole experience of school.
The day-to-day reality.
The challenges, the interactions, everything that shapes that educational journey.
Absolutely. So whether you're in school now, used to be, or work in one, understanding this language offers, well, a richer view of it all.
Which brings us to a final thought for you, the listener. We've touched on vocabulary, interactions, tasks, the whole environment. When you think about school, what single aspect do you find most defining? What leaves the most lasting impact?
Something to ponder.